morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told out of Voice of Radio, so today we've got some big new cards from Super Electric Breaker, which obviously is going to be Surging Sparks over here. I have got approximately 1 hour in my hotel room before I have to leave to get my 6-hour train home. So let's talk about all of these new cards from Super Electric Breaker. Ladies and gentlemen, I am excited. Let's start off with Tatsugiri EX. I love Tatsugiri EX, and I'm a little bit biased because Tatsugiri is a cool Pokemon that I like very much indeed, and I don't care. Tatsugiri is awesome. I'm actually recording this, having done the translations myself and not checked with anybody else, but I will check with the lovely Anton Boulet before I post it, just in case. So what we got from Tatsugiri here is 160 HP Dragon Pokemon, no weakness. And what we've got is 1 Fire, 1 Water Energy, 100 damage. And damage from this attack is not affected by any effects on the defending Pokemon. Cool. So let's say, for argument's sake, someone's doing that whole Mimikyu thing where they're like, I don't take damage from EXs. You're like, yeah, you do, mate. Yeah, you do. If they're trying to block EXs, you go through. If they're trying to block basic Pokemon, you go through. Your opponent cannot block the damage from this because you go through any effects on the defending Pokemon. I like this very, very much indeed. But there's another attack. And the other attack is very nice indeed. What we've got from this other attack is that for 1 Fire, 1 Water, 1 Darkness, look at the top 10 cards of your deck, choose as many Pokemon as you like, and put them onto your bench, and then shuffle the remaining cards into your deck. And look, I'm going to check this with the lovely Anton Boulet, but I've read this card several times, and it says, from these cards, choose as many Pokemon as you like. It definitely says Pokemon. It doesn't say basic Pokemon. It says Pokemon. Which means that if you get a bunch of EX Pokemon here, you can play those EX Pokemon, or Stage 2 Pokemon, or Stage 1 Pokemon. Whatever Pokemon you find here can be played. That, ladies and gentlemen, is ridiculous and absurd and wonderful and lovely. I adore this card. And sure, it's got an awkward attack cost, but look, we've seen all of this with these Terra Pokemon, all right? We know the attacks are a little bit awkward. We know we've also got a bunch of options here. Things like Crispin for getting an energy on and an energy in hand. Things like Sparkling Crystal for reducing cost. A whole bunch of ways to accelerate energy. My point here is, if we're going to be able to use these, and it really does look like Pokemon are trying to make it so that we can use these, this is a redonkulous attack. Yes, it is possible that this ends up being too expensive and we never get to use it, but we are getting a bunch of tricks for these kind of attacks. And looking at the top 10 cards of your deck, finding any Pokemon you like and whacking them on the bench, I cannot be the only one that thinks that sounds incredibly enticing. I'm going to go ahead and give Tatsugiri EX 4 Wassies. You can feel free to disagree with me if you like, but I feel pretty good about this. But that's not the only EX we've seen today. We've also seen Hydreigon. Now, what we've got for Hydreigon is 330 HP Darkness Stage 2, which is kind of cool. And again, the attack costs here are awkward. You know they're going to be awkward. They're Stellar Terra Pokemon. But we've got 1 Darkness, 1 Colorless, 200 damage, trash the top 3 cards or discard the top 3 cards of your opponent's deck. Yes. 200 damage plus discarding cards is awesome. And the thing is, right, because we're a Darkness Pokemon here, we've got Janine. And we've got Dark Patch, so with Darkness Energy onto Darkness Pokemon, we really don't need to worry too much here. We know that we are going to be able to get some energy acceleration rolling. As always, 200 damage isn't quite enough. It doesn't get your basic EXs, it doesn't get your basic Pokemon Vs. I understand all of this, but the fact remains, we are still doing 200 damage and trashing the top 3 cards of our opponent's deck, and you add those 2 effects together, and it sounds really rather nice indeed. keep your eye on this one, ladies and gentlemen. I think this could be cool. But there is a second, even more awkward attack to use that we should also have a look at. What we've got here is a rather nice attack for 1 Psychic, 1 Darkness, 1 Metal, 1 Colourless. So even with Darkness Energy Acceleration, this is going to be annoying to use. But 130 damage. Choose 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Do 130 damage to each of them. So it does 130 to the active, and it does 130 to each of 2 of your opponent's bench Pokemon. Add that all up, ladies and gentlemen, and it looks awesome. Again, we've got these same issues with the energy cost here, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. This is an extremely expensive attack. However, 130 to 3 Pokemon. Come on, ladies and gentlemen. This seems like it could work very, very nicely indeed. You're going to need to get some energy acceleration here. But you know what? We've got some options, like I've said. Also, worth noting, there are pre-evolutions here as well. And what we see from the pre-evolutions is Dino discards 1 card from the top of your opponent's deck. And Zweilous discards 2 cards from the top of your opponent's deck. So we've got all kinds of milling rolling on here. But wait! Maybe we take a break from talking about new EXs for a moment to talk about a new Togekiss. Oh my word, this Togekiss looks awesome. I am a gigantic fan of this Togekiss. Because what we've got here is an ability whereby if your opponent's active Pokemon gets knocked out, flip a coin. If heads, take 1 more prize card for that KO. No, it doesn't stack. So you don't get to flip multiple coins and potentially take multiple extra prizes. It is flip 1 coin for as many Togekiss as you've got. If you get 1 heads, then you get to go ahead and take an extra prize. But what is very, very, very important is the wording here. Because Togekiss does not need to be active. It does not need to be Togekiss that takes the KO. You just need to get a KO. And it does not need to be damage from an attack that gets the KO here. Anytime your opponent's active is KO'd, this absolutely works. It just says if this Pokemon is on the field and your opponent's active Pokemon is KO'd, you flip a coin. And if heads, take 1 extra prize. This attack or this ability cannot be used more than once, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't stack. And that's fine. That makes perfect sense. But this is potentially a redonkulous ability because you get to take a bunch of extra prizes. This seems good, but it is a stage 2 and you have to get it all rolling. And I know that's a little bit awkward, but never mind. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. We don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. General rule of Pokemon, if there is an opportunity to take extra prizes, people are going to like it. I think I forgot to give Hydreigon a score, didn't I? Let's give that one 4 Wassies. I think there is a lot of potential here with Hydreigon. But wait! There's 3 new EXs and I've only told you about 2 of them. That seems a little bit rude. So you know what? Let's finish off having a chat about Slaking. What we got from Slaking here is the ability, which the lovely Anton Billet has translated as Pro Slacker, which I initially translated wrong, but I fixed it before Antoine posted their translation, so I still did it myself. And it's slacking, so it's going to be annoying and stop you attacking. And essentially what it says is, if your opponent does not have an EX or V in play, this Pokemon cannot attack. I.e., if you're against a deck which is only playing single prize Pokemon, this Pokemon is not allowed to attack. As soon as they put a single EX or V in play, you're good, but until they do, you're not, boo, hiss, etc. And we've got a really nice attack. 2 colourless energy, 280, discard 1. Yes, this seems awesome. It's a great attack. You can even use double turbo here. Now, you're only doing 260, which is annoying because 280 is a magic number for getting Pokemon V-Star, for instance. But it's a single energy attack at that point that does 260, which is clearly redonk. Or you can get 2 different energy on and hit 280. You're getting basically anything except Stage 2 EXs. Stage 2 EXs are basically only Pokemon you're not KOing here. It's a ridiculous attack. and you got 340 HP, which is the maximum possible HP we've seen unboosted, naturally on a Pokemon so far. It's awesome. However, you need to remember it's a stage 2. Honestly, I'm not even that worried about the ability. Because with the ability, how many decks nowadays aren't playing any EXs whatsoever? Your opponent whacks a Squawkabilly down, boom, all of a sudden this is activated and you're good. There are a lot of decks that are EX decks, and even non-EX decks tend to play support cards. Although, again, if they know you're playing Slaking, maybe they won't play the support card because they know you're playing Slaking. But still, that's not the point, ladies and gentlemen. Point is, this is great, but the ability can be a pain, and the fact that it's a stage 2 can be awkward. You have been warned. I'm going to go ahead and give this one 4 Wassies because it is extremely powerful. There is a lot of potential here, and I'm just saying, I think this one could end up being really rather nice. Oh, and actually, we've got a new supporter card as well we should talk about just quickly. We've got Jasmine, and a Steel-type trainer, of course, Metal Pokemon trainer and all of that. And what we've got here is an ability, well, not an ability, it's an effect that says, during your opponent's next turn, all of your Pokemon take 30 less damage from attacks. Cool. It's pretty good, honestly, ladies and gentlemen. It's pretty gosh darn good. The problem here is that this is going to be a very specific card. All of your Pokemon taking 30 less from attacks, obviously awesome, but it's a supporter for the turn, you're not drawing cards and all of that. So look, I like this very much indeed, but I do think that it's going to be an occasional one-off for those turns where you can play this and then your opponent misses key KOs. That's what I think, but I want to know what you think about this and about all the other cards. So tell me your thoughts, your feelings, your opinions, and everything else in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at @TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.